contemplating was, you know, to get together a show featuring Oh I'm Good and other folks.
I'm actually good too. Say it. Okay, did you finish your thought? If you did, say it again.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Old Black Men Conversations. I am your co-host, David H. Dudley III / Sonny / Cakey / Baker / Delightful Dave. And this is...
I'm still the real Cliff Barnes.
And that's so good because it's good to have somebody that's real in addition to me. So it makes us two reals. Two reels in a row on the show. Hey.
Alrighty then.
All right. Your weirdness never ceases to amaze the masses. All right. So today let's talk about when y'all were 17. So first of all, what year was it when you were 17?
1967.
And for me, it started at the latter end of 1966 into 67.
We'll say 67 for you because you had less than a month of...
Yeah. 16. Only had.
Wait, so both of you were 67 then, if we're counting that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have been...
He turned 17 in 66.
But in December of 66.
I didn't turn 17 until September of 67.
So that would put us both 67.
All right, let's just talk about in 1967.
Yeah, 1967.
All right. So first of all, what was your favorite type of music in 1967? Like, who was your favorite artist or band or whatever?
Oh, I'd have to say Motown groups, Temptations, Four Tops, the Supremes, Martha and the Vandellas, and that R&B thing that was happening then.
Yeah,
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, all that. But for me, my absolute favorite, without a doubt, was the Beach Boys.
I could see that surf thing happening then. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really into the harmonies. And plus, they did topicals, stuff that I could relate to, like rah, 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 sis, boom, bop, be true to your school, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I Get Around.
And you got around?
You did.
Good vibrations. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to be black, but Beach Boys was one of my favorite groups. I couldn't go black for that.
They had that theremin to make them sounds and good vibrations.
Well, yeah, that was the early art.
So it's really a strange thing, but it's cool the sounds it makes. But yeah, see it.
And did you guys see, in 1967, did you see any of these artists live that year?
In 67, no, I don't think I went to my first real concert until 68.
No, I didn't, although I did when we first came to Seattle. So 66, 65, 64, the Motown Review was at the Playhouse or something like that, I think. And I went, I saw that. It was an early Motown Review, probably the last Motown Review, I don't know.
Well, it didn't, it was fading
But
out
it was groups like the Contours, and his folks didn't really...
Oh yeah, by then, they were fading. The
Yeah.
review was fading out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
So that was in
So
'64.
okay. So in '67, where did you live? Like, obviously it was in Seattle, but like where in the city? Where was your stomping ground in '67?
I'd say Lower Capitol Hill, south, because we live right by Seattle University. So yeah, it was. Let me see. No, wait, '67. Whoops, that was later. '67, we lived in Leschi by then, because we moved out '66. Yeah, so by '67, lived in Leschi.
And we were on 46th and Morgan in the South End, South Morgan, which was an interesting neighborhood back then because we weren't the only blacks. There was another black family down across 42nd that was from the church. I can't think of the name right now, but we were the only blacks in that area then. I mean, it felt like we were the only blacks. I mean, so much to the point of in '67, I had a paper route. Me and my brother had paper routes, and we were doing our early morning paper routes, and we actually got harassed by cars of Caucasian teenagers because we shouldn't have been out. You know what I mean?
Sounds
So-
like Troy. Yeah, so it's pretty good neighborhood, diversity wise, Leschi at that time.
Yeah.
But now it's reverted back to a lot more gentrification.
Yeah, I'm
But,
not sure. I'm not sure what Morgan's reverted back to, if it has, because that area around there is still, well, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we used to hang out at Mount Baker Beach. We were up.
We should hang out at Seward Park because that was the closest park.
Well, once we got cars,
Well, no, I mean we did.
Right, no,
Before there was cars,
we didn't. Yeah,
we'd walk up the hill and down the
walked
hill
down
to the beach.
We walked down to Mount Baker. The old one and then the new one. The new one. The old Mount Baker Beach was.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a while back.
Did you guys? Well, you said paper route. Did you have jobs in 1967?
I did in the summer.
What did you do?
We were worked for the water department. They used to have that program to keep us poor little knuckleheads off the streets. So yeah, worked for the water department that summer. And then the rest of the year, though, we just went to school, and did little odd jobs here and there, and picked up a few dollars here and there, and stuff like that.
My dad told me my job was going to school and graduating.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to get a job. That was, but during the summer, it's interesting when you brought that up because during the summer, the previous summer, I worked with the engineering department.
Mm-hmm.
It's engineering and water department had all these little projects, right? But the funny thing is, there was a guy that worked with me. There's actually two guys. It was Porter Mathis and David Winfield. Now, David Winfield became famous because he would come apparently to Seattle for the summer and live with his uncle or somebody and then get a summer job. But he became a professional. First, he got into this big fight on national TV at a college basketball game.
Okay.
Then he became this famous baseball player, played for the Yankees. So that was something that happened during this. And I remember them, because we actually communicated for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had them. That's when they have programs to help the young inner
Right,
city kids.
right.
Was it neighborhood
Right,
youth corps, something like that?
Stuff like that. But it's like Kia would never. She'd have been back in the day. My niece Kia, my granddaughter Kia, she'd have never went. Being a sophomore in high school, she would have never gone to summer without a job. There would always been something there.
Nice. No, Kia's a junior now.
Well, yeah, she's a junior now, but she's a
Oh
sophomore.
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Before the summer.
All right. What was like the craziest thing you did in 1967? Like, man, we probably shouldn't have did that.
Wow. Let's see, 1967.
And it doesn't have to be something y'all did as a group together.
No,
It's just,
but I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's see, the craziest thing.
or something. If you didn't think anything crazy, something that stands out that you were a part of.
No, wasn't doing that then. No, wasn't doing that then. Let's see. Crazy things that happened in '67.
Well, I don't know. I can't really.
Outside of you know, like sneaking into things and stuff like that. You know, we were always very, very ingenious of ways of getting into places we probably shouldn't have been in, or didn't want to pay money or cover charge or stuff like that. Because you know, there was so much stuff going on, and not as much security and or well, cameras for one thing. Like now there's a billion cameras around, but you know, so we just other than that, you know, just kind of crazy little, you know, driving too fast because we our licenses were new. I didn't have a car, but my brother had several. And so, you know, driving too fast, street racing, like we weren't as fast, but we were just as furious. And our cars were bigger.
Okay. Would you guys say, do you think you snuck into more parties than you paid to get into? Or, like, what do you think that ratio is?
Well, most of the parties
or events or whatever.
Yeah, I would have to say we didn't. The sneak-ins were the lower end of that spectrum. We didn't have to sneak into much, because a lot of times we knew people. And we got around, so we would hear stuff, and so like, oh, so and so's at the stage door, so and so's the bouncer, or you know, so we were just getting to that age where we were broadening our horizons and meeting different people and finding out, oh, is that your job? Well, then when so and so comes, can we, you know, etc. You know, and then it'd be like. One person would get in somehow and then go to the side door and then let about 3 or 4 of us more in and stuff, you know.
Okay.
So I never really, I hung out with a different crowd then, and there weren't a lot of places that we would have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
Because of the type of things that were going on. For example, we go to an ice cream party there for a minute.
Pharaoh's.
Then I think, well, one of the things I was reminded of that we did on a weekly basis all through my junior and most of my senior year was every weekend we'd get our little $2 together. Well, actually $5 together, $2 for gas, $1 for some alcohol, and $2 for cover charge for Lake Hills, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
So
$1 for alcohol.
well,
yeah.
because you put in. I mean, it could cost $7 to get a case. A case of beer fills 4. It was $5. $1 to hold.
I see.
And then occasionally we had these big parties, like at Farrell's ice cream party. Remember that? Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. Do you remember that?
Well, that's what I was talking about. That was one of the things that we didn't
Yeah.
cost anything.
That didn't, and it didn't cost nothing except for paying for the ice cream. And everybody would chip in and get one of them giant things, and then everybody get a spoon, and there's like a big old, what was the thing there was a Woodland Park Zoo and and the Mount Rainier. And it would literally be a big mountain of ice cream, and there'd be like 8 or 10 people, and everybody'd have a spoon, and there'd be all these different flavors of ice cream, and you just get, it was crazy.
Yuck.
It was crazy. Yeah, that's probably why you don't do that anymore. Farrell's ends up closing, but it was one of them old time ice cream parlors and stuff. And we would.
All right. So, what was your style like? Like, how did you dress in 1967?
Pretty much the same way as I dress now. This has always been my uniform. Jeans and well, this shirt actually has a collar, so But unless we were going out to party and because But in those days, we didn't really go a lot of places. I didn't really go a lot of places where you had to dress up besides like church. And, but for the most part, it was just like casual.
Okay.
You never knew what you'd get into.
Yeah, so your day-to-day was pretty much jeans and a t-shirt?
Pretty much.
No, I wasn't. My parents weren't into. They wanted me to be dressed well, to represent the race, if you will.
Okay.
So so when I went out, consequently, I had a lot of the plaid, or not plaid, but the psychedelic shirts. I remember I had this this one pair of orange slacks, and I had a black and I think yellow shirt that I wore with it, and I had these red platforms shoes about this big.
I didn't get
Y'all
those.
couldn't tell me nothing. I knew I was looking good, and I knew. You know why I knew? Cause the girls was going. Ah.
Yeah.
So that encouraged me to dress even more like that. So I'd go to places like the Pit up the street, which was up the street from me, this little nightclub, and I'd be dressed to the T's. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't see me in there, but I still be dressed to the T's because it'd be dark. 'Cause it's a pit. What the hell?
It would be dark. There'd be black lights, and then somebody turning the strobe light. Yeah, that was that. I remember that little place. But yeah, but the thing is, when it was time to be suited and booted, I was
about to say, so when it was time for you to go out, have some fun, and dress nice, what was you rocking?
Hey, just some slacks and a nice shirt with one of them big ass collars that you ride in a convertible, just beat the hell out the side of your face. Remember them big long collars that we had on them shirts? Yeah, so just casual party stuff, and but for the most part, it's like, hey, I got to put on some jeans and just hang out. Because,
And it's funny. I didn't even have a pair. I didn't have a pair of jeans till I was 22 or 23.
I had them. But okay, let me rephrase. I did have like some khakis and jean-like things, but I didn't like wear slacks and everything. Like I said, put on a pair of jeans and them Chuck Taylors, all them Converse All-Stars. Boy, everybody had those. And then they start coming out in colors.
I was about to say, actually, I saw something, and it was talking about when tennis shoes really kind of came on the scene and took off.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get how old were you when you first got your first pair of tennis shoes?
Oh, heck, I'd say probably about 7 or 8.
Okay.
Because, the thing, and the thing is, it was because, like, TV. you know.
Mhm.
Go U.S. Kids, you know, and then PF Flyers. They make you run faster and jump higher, you know. I said, oh, Mom, I need a pair of these. Yeah, whatever. You know, you're going to go get these and wear those. And then as you got older and more fashion conscious, you know, but then back then, that's all it was. It was Chuck Taylors were the athletic shoes, and all of the basketball players would wear those, and they only came in two colors, black and white. And then once they started coming out in colors, then all of their teams would get the pair that's close to their school colors.
Yeah.
You know, Franklin, we had green ones, and Garfield had purple ones, and Cleveland had red ones, and so forth. But that was later on.
I think I was
You know.
16 when I got my first pair of tennis shoes because, like I said up to then, my parents wanted me to be to represent the race,
Represent,
right?
there you go.
So, you know, y'all criticized me for wearing short pants with dress shoes. That's where I got it from.
I feel.
That's where I got it from because I simply did not have it. I mean, is that a dog or a person?
Person probably yelling at a dog or
Or
another
vice
person.
versa.
A dog yelling at a person, huh?
Dog, yeah. Expressing its views and barks. So, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, because we were, you know, we basically, in my case, it was more fashion conscious as I got older. Like the next year, going on 18 and getting ready to go to high school with ashtrays, but because I didn't, you know, community college.
Well, you know what? I remember now that back in Moses Lake when I was in the 8th grade or 9th grade, and there was a pair of tennis shoes in the garbage. That was my first pair of tennis shoes.
Okay,
Hey, listen.
did they fit?
Yeah, they did.
that's what's up.
And they were Converses, and I wrote on the
Yeah.
I wrote on the lip of them because that's what all the kids was doing, and I was like, I could be like them now. They looked at me, my parents.
What's that on your feet?
You're not wearing those outside the house.
What's
Right?
that on your feet?
He's like, no, that's not what we do
No,
here.
that's not the way we do it. Yeah, you know, it was.
All right. What was y'all's hair doing in 1967? What hairstyle was you rocking?
That was just where we was kind of transferring from the Quo Vadis. It was close, and you know it had the little waves, and then you get the line and everything, and it was just kind of close,
Okay.
you know. And it was just wanted hair. Like you go in the barbershop and they have all these examples, you know, and so I would have to say just kind of a short afro, just, you know, yeah.
Well, in my case, of course, I'm representing the race, so an afro was out of the question.
I know.
So
Wasn't there yet.
I got my hair conked up about every other month. You know, Congoline, you know,
Oh no.
acid burn your hair
Oh,
and make it
no,
straight.
no,
you know.
I-
Then you got the little curls on the top of the
curls.
curves, right? You
Oh,
wear a stocking
yeah.
cap at night when you go to bed. You get up and it's like you sit down flat close to your head,
Close to your head.
real sharp looking.
Oh yeah.
Put my yellow turtleneck on and my orange pants
Oh.
and my red Negro.
A whole sunrise.
tequila sunrise.
And I was rising.
It's the Negro sunrise. Oh, yeah, that sounds dope. I wish you had a picture.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah, you know.
There's one somewhere.
But see, the thing is, until I got 18, I was still living at home. But before I was 18, I couldn't get away with a lot of the stuff I got away with as 18, as just, you know, well, wait, I'm almost grown. And then you wasn't grown until you was 20, 122
Yeah,
in your
seriously.
parents' eyes.
Serious,
Now everything-
people still living at home 20, 21, 22.
I
Because the
moved-
parents
yeah.
is like, you ain't grown.
Like I moved out when I think I was 20, you know. But the whole thing is, it was convenient. I was still going to school. As long as I was going to school, I didn't have no worries about where I could stay. But if I dropped out of school, then my parents was like, well, you gonna live now? you got a job. Now you really grown now. No, it's okay. It's all right. I'll re-enroll.
Over here, I'm over
You
here.
know,
Asshole.
that's why I was able to cram 4 years of college into 7. So,
Oh,
you know.
So what was y'all's like extracurricular? What was y'all's social life looking like in 1967?
We had little house parties, you know. Kids would have house parties. And they'd call up, yeah, man, this party is so-and-so, you know, I'll meet you there. Or, you know, you got the car, come by and pick me up, or whatever. Do that. And then playground, we were all playground legends. So, you know, we'd go out and play football, basketball, softball. I mean, you know, kind of the things, we used to do a lot of the things that the kids play on the game whatever, the PlayStation. They play at this, and they got a Wii and they're out there. Well, we was actually doing stuff before they put it on video games. So we go out and, like I said, we go to parties. People would, you know, have house parties. Some people were always, you know, like they were famous for their parties. So
I'll tell you one person that was famous for their parties,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I didn't know until, and that was Jerry.
Jerry, I thought so. Yeah.
I mean, he had a party. He had an address,
Yeah.
and that address was constantly burning.
And
I didn't know. I had no idea whose place it was, none whatsoever. Then I find out years later, oh, that was me. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there for
Yeah.
what?
Absolutely.
Was he charging for these parties, or he
No.
just had them?
No.
He just had.
See,
folks would get together.
that's
and-
something fairly new. You charge for a party.
I feel.
Well, the thing is, I remember like in college when we were pledging a fraternity, and you know, like, there's a fee for joining fraternities, you know. So, in order to raise that money, we would throw like waistline parties, where you would pay by the, you know, and then there was people who didn't want their waistline known, so they just was a set price.
Well, that's smart actually.
And then back in the day, I remember when we were people had rent parties, you know, and it's just
Actually,
like, yeah, when they lived off campus.
Let's pause.
People would just like, we have BYOB parties where, you know, people say, well, bring what you like to drink, and then, you know, they'll supply the party snacks and dip and all that shit, you know. But it wasn't nothing formal, just a bunch.
Can you close it?
Get you a bunch
Can you
of
close
records.
that door for me?
Get you a bunch of records and invite a bunch of folks over, you know.
Yeah.
And then another thing we would do is we would rent places and charge, you know, and have an event where we went like the what was it, the Empire Way Center, and then the Jefferson Ladies Club and all these, and people would rent those, and then have it set up a DJ, and then have an event. But for the most part, house parties, we didn't charge. Nobody charged for that. You know, but yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about, let's switch gears a little bit. Who are y'all's top 5 male vocalists? Like your top 5.
Then or now or ever?
Ever. Your top 5 ever. Your list right now. Forget 1960. We're off 1967.
Okay. Man, I don't know. I liked Marvin Gaye. And then later on, Luther Vandross, that guy. And let's see. Oh, and then Mr. Romance, he's on his way here at the casino or something. Johnny Mathis.
Okay.
And I like Donny Hathaway. And oh, is that 4?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'd have to say Michael Jackson can go in there earlier, middle Michael.
Okay. Like Thriller, Michael?
Yeah,
Okay.
and off the wall.
And off the wall,
Michael.
actually, I'd say off the wall.
Yeah, off the wall, Michael. I mean, yeah, you know.
Okay, so
Your turn.
I like Marvin Gaye, Lenny Williams, Joni Morrison,
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Goins, and Big Barry White.
Yeah, Barry. Oh wait, I forgot. Frankie Beverly. So I had.
That's
6.
your honorable mention?
That's my honorable mention. Yeah. And I had heard that of all ironies of ironies, he had throat cancer. I was like, man, that was really. But I liked his style, his voice.
You got an honorable?
An honorable. What's his name?
I don't know. It's like, apparently that was the question. What's his name?
Denise Huxtable's husband.
Who?
Oh, Lenny Kravitz?
Lenny Kravitz, yeah.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz. Yeah, he was pretty. He's a pretty good entertainer. I think his show.
All right. Who are your top 5 female vocalists?
Oh wow! Well, I had to say Aretha right away. I liked her. She had so many different styles and so many different genres. She did gospel and yeah. And then, oh well, I have to. Yeah, she wouldn't be way up there, but I'd have to put in Stephanie Mills. I actually opened for her. It was marvelous. And let's see, where was I? Well, no, those are groups. Patti LaBelle.
Yeah, we're going to do groups later.
Yeah, I was thinking Patti LaBelle,
Okay.
and the Pips, Gladys Knight, and Shaka Khan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid list. All right, Pop.
Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan,
Yeah.
Shaka Khan.
They're like Dylan.
Yeah.
Natalie Cole, Aretha, Patty. Is that 4 or 5?
That's 4.
And Gladys.
Okay.
Honorable mention.
Do either of you have one?
No, I don't.
Mahalia Jackson.
Okay.
That's my honorable mention. But I was so young when she was really, but I've heard a lot of her albums, and she was freaking amazing.
Okay. Now, your top 5 bands.
Tower Power, Earth, Wind and Fire, Chicago, Jimi Hendrix Experience. That's a band. It's trios, like a band.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Only smaller. And
There was a group. There was some of them.
yeah, there were several of them there. And then actually Sly and the Family Stone.
Okay. 5.
original Funkadelic. Earth, Hot Air, No Fire.
Okay.
Alright.
James Brown Band.
Review, yeah.
Review,
Oh,
whatever.
yes, he had all them folks.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
And
From P.O.
The Time.
Yeah.
The original Time. The original 7.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's
Oh,
up.
yeah. Any honorable mention?
Parliament.
Parliament. Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna say that.
The Mothership.
Yeah. Honorable mention for
I was about to say Tower Power wasn't on yours.
No, they didn't make it. I mean,
He was like, nah, they didn't make it.
there was a lot of
They
good
didn't make
groups
the
that
top 5.
you know.
Man, I love Tower Power, man. We used to go see Tower Power every night they was here. It'd be like Wednesday, Thursday, $1, Friday and Saturday, $3. We would go, we would go see Tower Power because I guess this was their test market because they spent a lot of time up here, and they were from the Bay Area, East Bay, Oakland.
Nice. Alright. Okay. What type of music do you really just not like? Like, I don't rock with it.
I really, practically every genre, there's a song or two that I like. I don't really hate. I guess I just love music. I haven't really, even a lot of foreign music. You know, I've heard things. I said, oh wow, oh yeah, well that's from Pakistan or something. You know, but I can't think of any music that I really hate or strongly dislike.
Yeah, I think hate was a strong word, but like,
No, but
I
mean,
would never put this genre, anything from this genre, on my playlist.
Yeah,
you don't have anything like
I
that?
don't have anything like that.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you know.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is there was once when I was in another life was accepting CDs for review, and I don't know what category to put it in except to say that the title was "The Angels Sing," and it was more like I mean, it was really, really weird.
Okay.
And that was the only thing that I've ever heard that I said I would not listen to this.
Right.
And I should have saved it, but I put it in the trash. And that's how good it was. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
gosh. Yeah, you know, I've heard a lot of, even having worked in a venue, I got to see a lot of different kinds of bands and kinds of, you know, groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sit there and you know, that's like, wow, that's great. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, that one's better, you know. And then there's some times where you're at, well, I guess it would be called a rave. Okay, I worked in a building where they were held, and there would be like a stage over here, 2 stages here, and then one here in this gigantic building. And I had trouble figuring out when one song ended and the other one started.
I would say there was a band on each stage or something.
Right, and and sometimes they, you know, like they were it's a big place, so they were far enough away to where they wouldn't bleed over.
Okay.
But it was the type of music that some of the people were playing, and it just was that constant, you know, like boom, 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 you know, all right. I don't know, house music, industrial. They had a bunch of different names for it, but it would sound like I'm going, okay, is that the same song? And they would be paying these DJs all this money, to play this stuff, and the kids were into it, but it would be like 10,000 of them. They'd be overstimulated, underdressed, and way past their bedtimes. But even that, I mean, I could always find something redeeming about just about all the music I've ever heard.
Yeah,
You know?
music, it really does.
It-
I think it's a universal language, and no matter what
Yeah.
you do with it,
yeah,
unless your mind is totally closed, I think you should be able to roll with pretty much anything,
yeah. I mean,
as
like I
long as
said,
it's musical.
so.
Yeah, so you know what? It feels like it's time for us to say so long, so long, so long, so long,
Oh, that-
so long, so
Hey,
long,
Jeff.
so long. See ya.
Is that that's our new theme song?